Welcome to Shameless. Here we explore the transformative power of courage and action.
Thank you for joining us today. If you've enjoyed our conversations and you want to have more insightful discussions and hear from other incredible guests, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us to grow and continue bringing this amazing content. Thanks for joining in and enjoy today's episode of Shameless Podcast.
And so please tell me a little bit more about that social entrepreneur. Like, what is it? What do you envision for that? And where is that going to be sitting? Who is going to be impacted through that process?
When you think that social entrepreneur, think about these simple words: do good and make money. That's the simple words. Basically,
And make money.
do good and make money. Don't make no mistake, but in that order, do good and make money. When you bring value will always bring in money. It's just the way it is. And so you do good and make money. And so that's what that social entrepreneur is trying to do. I'm trying to go out and train people in understanding the business models behind a social enterprise, how to make a social enterprise profitable, which is what I have done, and use that to translate into making money, but also doing good, which is the first thing you do before you make money. And after that, you can have a good night's rest. You're making money, you'll have a good night's rest because you're making money and you're adding value to your local community. And I stress on the word local community. Everybody wants to be Jeff Bezos. That's not what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be of value to your local community. Wherever you find that is your abode, where you see yourself placed on planet Earth, that's where you should be looking at and focusing on being very helpful to your local community. And I think that's one of the things I always say about reason why Amazon is so big is because they know how to do local right. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what they know how to do local right. That's what every big company or every big organization is doing right. Is doing local right. So if you want to be somebody that is you don't have to be great to be Jeff Bezos to be successful. You don't have to be that. You just have to do good, do well in your community and be of value, and you'll have a good night's rest with money. That's what it is.
Well, that's as straightforward as it can get. Over the last 10 years, you've essentially built Fresh RB. Tell me more about what you've done in that space and what Fresh RB is all about.
Yes, definitely. So Fresh RB in 2013 was set up as a video production company, and we eventually sort of registered ourselves as a community interest company in 2014. And in 2014, what it means to be a community interest company means by structure, you've become a social enterprise, and 60% or 65% rather of our profits go back into the community work we do, and 35% is profits for us as shareholders. And what it is that we went into the space of being a media company, which was actually starting off as a video production company, and raising the awareness of health and raising the awareness of cancer. Then I met Kanwani, who is now my business partner in Fresh RB, and now he lives with a health condition called ME, which is chronic fatigue syndrome. It's a life-limiting health condition, has no cure. And what it does is that he has to basically, there's so many symptoms around the health condition that I did not know about until I met him. And when I met him, I said, okay, let's use this thing called podcasting to sort of see if that can work with that health condition and work across different health conditions. And as we were using video, using podcasts, we started to realize this transcends just these two health conditions. It goes across the board. And so we offered this thing and said, okay, this is the initial thing we're going to be using, and we're going to use creative design as well. So we use video production, podcasting production, and creative designs to engage with health conditions, health topics, health research in Manchester, in the UK. And we are working with the NHS constantly. We work with the city councils. We work with different organizations, universities, and we use things like the digital assets from the video production or the training of video production to get these young people and get different individuals in the community to engage with health themes. But one of the biggest things that we are very passionate about is using media as an advocacy tool to speak for people that can't speak for themselves. That's kind of like the biggest thing that we're looking at. So that's kind of what Fresh RB is. And we've just been able to sort of last for 10 years, which is crazy.
That's pretty nuts. That is absolutely crazy. And so when I hear this, it is incredibly inspiring, if I have to put a word to it. The inspiration for me is driven through the ability to, from a negative, to then turn it to become something that is of value, something that is positive, something that inspires change. And a lot of the time, whether it is a small negative or a big negative, a lot of people will find themselves in a trench. And the question is, how do I now get out of this cycle of being in a trench? And I'm abundantly, like, not only impressed, but I'm also very, very curious. Have you had moments where you had doubt, you felt vulnerable, and sort of how then did you work with that business challenge to then say, you know what, this is not going to cut me. This is not going to snow my roll. I'm going to build from here.
Yes, 100%. I mean, if I said I was confident throughout the whole process, I'll be lying to you. It was, I think what you've explained, which is perfectly, nicely concise. I always call it a tragedy to triumph story. So always using the tragedy and turning that into triumph. And how me personally, I have sort of overcome doubt, because for a good chunk of the business, probably for the first 4 years, 5 years, passion was the currency of the business. Passion was the currency. And when I say passion was the currency, I actually mean that. Your passion was what was getting me through the days when there was 80 pounds in my bank account. Let's be honest, that's what it was, and you're just like, I'm made for this. I'm called to do this. This is what I'm going to do.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share as we embark on our mission to impact 1 million African lives by 2026.
This podcast is brought to you by Transformation Leader. You can follow us at www.t4leader.com.